What is up, Sooner Nation? I am Casey Mallon, and you are now in a Sooner state of mind. Make sure you like and subscribe on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. With NFL playoffs right around the corner and the NBA season in full swing, BetOnline has you covered with all the up-to-the-second odds, news, and scores. With additional odds, lines, trends, and info on both desktop and mobile, you can access the world's best wagering information anytime. Head there today to get into the action and see all the updated odds. Remember to use promo code BELIEVE to receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Bet online where the game starts. Sooner state of mind family. Happy New Year. How we doing? Still hanging on to those New Year's resolutions? I hope so. The new year is only a couple of days old, and I'm making it a point to drink more. Let me finish. Making a point to drink more water in 2024. So far, so good. Looking for a full year of complete hydration. Let's keep it going. I do have a little good news, bad news. I guess I'll give out the bad news first. The bad news is our Oklahoma Sooners are no longer the only team to beat Texas. The good news is the Washington Huskies joined the teams to beat Texas list and sent the Horns home in devastating fashion. More on that joyous brutality later. Got to get into it with a little brutality of our own. But with that Texas loss, it does feel a little better today. Take you back in time a few days. Sooners go down in the Alamo Bowl to the Arizona Wildcats, 38-24, spoiling Jackson Arnold's debut and spoiling Drake Stoops' final game in a Sooner jersey. There were others, but at quarterback, some things you have to learn on the job. Things you can and can't get away with. That happened in the Alamo Bowl. We definitely saw the arm strength and athleticism and a few of those wow moments, both good and bad, I suppose. The first interception from Jackson Arnold came after a drop on a second down that would have given the Sooners a first down. Still an interception, but came off of a mistake. The second interception came on a 3rd and 10. Jackson Arnold just a little late on the throw, kind of stared it down. The safety broke on the route and made a really good play. And in my opinion, there wasn't anywhere else to go on it. I didn't see anybody else open, but a little more zip on that pass. And instead of an interception, it's a first down. But right after that INT, the very next play, Fafita over the top to Cowing. And just like that, 2 possessions in, Arizona is up 10-0. Overall, the game not bad considering we were down 10-0 right away. Ensuing Sooners possession had a first down. A hold brought it back. That was a theme on the night. Now 2nd and 18. And once again, Jackson Arnold just a little bit late on the throw. Again to Stoops. Otherwise, it's a first down. He'll figure out how to drop that right in between the DB and the safety. Just a little late. But the holding got us behind the sticks early, and holding got us behind the sticks late as well. Felt like we needed a little more consistency from the running game. Some very good, some blah. But overall, too many holding penalties on the O-line. Some were Jackson Arnold's fault, though, holding onto the ball too long, especially late in that thing. Defense, for the most part, was really good. I think they just ran out of gas, which is a theme we saw during the season. And even so, it's almost impossible to win when you are -4 in the turnover ratio. However, the defense tackled very well and almost completely shut down that run game from Arizona. Overall, Jackson Arnold, 26 of 45, 361, two TDs, and two interceptions. Feel like 45 attempts is too many when you're making your first collegiate start. It's kind of how the game went. I thought there might have been some times to get a little more running in, but overall, I thought it was pretty balanced. The good from this game, 7 of 5 or 7 of 15 on third down for the Sooners, 201 on the ground, 5.9 per carry. Gavin Sawchuk is nice. I hope he can stay healthy for a full season because he is very dynamic, and we saw the speed on full display in the Alamo Bowl, including that huge run. Lots to be excited for with Sawchuk moving forward. On a side note, when regards to the running back, even with a stacked running back room for next year, I'm definitely going to miss Tawi Walker. Just love dude's game, how hard he runs, and I appreciated him staying put and playing in the bowl game. He could have bounced and left us shorthanded. That was a theme throughout bowl season this year. Walker didn't do that. He's going to Wisconsin. My Badger friends, you are getting a good one. You will be stoked with this guy. The bad in this game, 6 turnovers, man. Jackson Arnold going through some on-the-job training, which is to be expected. But after those turnovers, you could see him second-guessing himself later in the game, holding on to the ball too long, trying not to throw interceptions instead of just slinging it. But all the quarterbacks have been through that. He'll be better for it in the long run. And he did have some flashes in this game to keep Sooner Nation completely stoked. Jaleel Farouk's fumbles were absolute killers. Took at least 2 field goals off the board, if not at least 1 touchdown. That first one was inside the 10. And then the other fumble was a scoop and score. That's at least a 10-point flip right there. We'll for sure get a field goal, maybe a touchdown. But Arizona returned it for a touchdown and a 2-point conversion. So maybe 16 points right there, or 15. The penalties also bad. 8 for 76 yards. Some absolute drive killers out there. Too many times behind the sticks. Got to clean that up moving into the SEC. We cannot afford to have that many negative plays. When you add up the penalties and the turnovers, and we're not even counting TFLs or anything like that, that's 14 negative plays. It's hard to overcome and even harder to win when you make those mistakes. Now, with the slow start and early turnovers into the second quarter, it was still just 13-0. Our defense kept us in that game early. And after that Arizona field goal that made it 13-0, Jackson Arnold and the Sooners started to get going. 7 plays, 75-yard touchdown drive. Arnold finding a rhythm. 5 of 6 for 51 yards on the drive. Sawchuk caps it with a 20-yard touchdown run. As bad as it started, Sooners only down 13-7. Ensuing Arizona possession. Defense comes up big. Kendall Dolby, tip. Kanai Walker, interception. Sooners take over in Wildcat territory. The very next play, Jackson Arnold to Jaleel Farouk. Farouk fumbles inside the 10-yard line, and it looked like that slight collision with Stoops might have caused a lack of concentration in the moment. Saw the red jersey and kind of moved. It was a little weird, but Wildcat defender punches the ball out. Maldonado recovers. Maldonado had a big day for those Wildcats. Arizona takes over inside their own 10, and that's at least 3 points off the board right there, if not another 7. Not only do we not take the lead, it's one of those plays that gives the other team hope, makes them think things are going to go their way. A very unfortunate play for the Sooners. Ensuing Arizona possession, OU defense comes up big again. Well, not immediately. Zone on 3rd and 1. Fafita to McMillan for 42. And that dude, McMillan, was absolutely unstoppable. He's got size, got speed, 6'5", great receivers, got that connection with Fafita. But the Sooners pass rush was very good in this game too. 3rd and 10 from the OU 29. Cohen Stripling with the sack pushes those Cats out of field goal range, forces a punt. Defense doing us a solid right there. 2 plays later, Sawchuk rips one for 62 yards. And that run set up my favorite play of the game. And it would be the next 2 OU possessions featuring insane plays by JFA. You know who I'm talking about. And that had Sooner Nation totally tubed on a tasty wave and a cool buzz and completely stoked for next year. 2nd and goal from the 10. Jackson Arnold with a 6 scramble, a sicker throw, rolling to his left, throws it across his body. Just an insane throw. The arm strength right there. And an even sicker catch by Nick Anderson. Drags the toe, touchdown, Sooners. What a throw, what a catch. This duo has the makings to be something really special, and they are just scratching the surface of how good they're going to be together. A whole off season, them working independently of the team. I think they're going to put in the time, and I'm completely stoked for it. I'll tell you that right now. Sooners, as bad as it started, they're up 14-13 at halftime, and it feels like the Sooners are ready to take this game over. And they should have. Sooners get the ball first to start the 3rd quarter. 2 plays later, JFA over the top to Brennan Thompson, 63-yard touchdown pass. Arnold showing off the cannon. Beautiful throw. Sooners up 21-13. Started hard, but we knew it was going to start hard. But Sooners start picking it up, both sides of the ball, really doing stuff. Sooners defense forces another Arizona punt. And just to give love to this OU defense, they were well deserving. After giving up 13 early points, mostly due to the turnovers from the offense, the defense turned up, suing Arizona offensive possessions, went interception, punt, 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 punt. That's 5 straight zona possessions that the Sooners defense forced them to punt. Should have been putting this game away. 6 possessions, 78 total yards, 1 interception, and 5 punts. That is getting it done. That should have been enough to put the game away. Offense does their end of the deal. This game is not even close. But they weren't able to do that. And the next thing that gave Zona life was the lack of execution on the offense. Sooners, nice drive, 12 plays, 84 yards. But after a 1st and goal from the 5, Sooners had to settle for a 22-yard field goal. Now it's 24-13. Could have been 28-13. Touchdown right there. Might break their back. But a field goal keeps this thing within striking distance. 2 Sooners possessions later, OU driving, 2nd and 10 at the Arizona 23. Arnold to Farouk, not again. Not again. Yes, again. Farouk spins, pops the ball up, fumble, and it's an 87-yard pick 6 from Maldonado. That cat was on the scene. Arizona goes for 2. It's good. Now instead of 27-13 or 31-13, it's only 24-21. Ensuing OU possession, 4th quarter. Sooners 2nd and 10 from their own 22. This one totally on Jackson Arnold. Doesn't see the linebacker. Another interception. So costly, this one. But even so, the Sooners defense comes up big again, holding Zona to just a field goal. What a great effort by this defense, man. Get the field goal. It's all tied up at 24. And at this point, the game should have been put away. Shoulda, but wasn't. Next Arizona possession, too much McMillan. On the day, this cat had 10 for 160. Too much Cowing, too. He had 7 for 152 and 2 TDs, the second of which put this game away. After another OU turnover, Zona tacks on one more touchdown. That's a wrap on 2023. And even though the Sooners were much improved after going 6-7 last season, 10-3 felt like a disappointment, which it was. This team was really close, but failed to execute in some of the biggest moments. There was flashes of it. Take you back to the Cotton Bowl where they got it done, but just too many times they weren't able to get it done. Kansas, Okie State, etc., etc. That being said, there is still lots to be excited about moving forward. JFA showed all the things that have Sooner Nation totally stoked for next year. The ability's there. He's just learning. This bowl game will be invaluable to him moving forward. He's getting this done now before spring practice, before summer camp. It's going to pay off. A top 10 recruiting class, a couple of war daddies added to the defensive mix. Stutz, Downs, Bowman, and all the other returning defenders. Lots of places. Woody Washington now. And I'm sorry, dude, Dejon Terry, he looks like a new and bigger player. It felt like something clicked for him, and he is going to have a big year. If you ask me, the future looks very nice. Still, just 8 points away from an undefeated regular season and a rematch with Texas, 2S's in the Big 12 championship. Speaking of Texas, Sooner Nation channeled their inner prince and the revolution and basked in the purple rain that poured down over Bourbon Street and sent the burnt orange Bevos home with the super disappointing loss in their best season in a long time, as the Washington Huskies improved to 14-0 with the 37-30 win over the Horns. And it definitely shouldn't have been that close. Horns got a couple of breaks late. But even so, those Huskies never trailed. And I said I thought Michael Penix Jr. had his Heisman moment in the Pac-12 championship game versus Oregon. And I believe it even more so now, as Penix was absolutely the very best player on the field at the Sugar Bowl, shredding the Texas defense. 29 for 38, 430 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Penix throwing lasers with unbelievable precision. And after late in this thing, Washington recovered an onside kick, which Texas thought was the death knell. Third down for the Huskies with just over a minute left. And instead of taking a knee, Coach DeBoer decides to run it with Dylan Johnson. Johnson goes down with an injury. Still don't know what the injury is. It looked pretty bad. Hopefully it's not. But that stops the clock, which seems like a shitty rule. Even so, UW punts. Tack on a catch interference. Texas now with life, with new hope. So much life that they moved deep into Husky territory with 4 shots from the UW 11. 4 opportunities to get the game winner. That hope turned out to be false hope. The Huskies ripped the heart right out of Bevo's chest, leaving the burnt orange burnt. Tots and pears, my sad bovine friends. Tots and pears. That was such a tasty treat. It almost made me forget about the sweetness that was Michigan versus Alabama at the Rose Bowl. The Fighting Harbaughs won in overtime 27-20. I feel like both teams had an opportunity to put this game away, but neither could do so in regulation. And I thought that Bama should have probably just thrown their game plan right out the window and just let Milroe run wild in that second half. His scrambling caused Michigan fits, but a little bit out of the run game too. But that was about the only thing that gave the Wolverines trouble. They were very physical on both sides of the ball, getting after Milroe on pretty much every drop back. I think 5 or more sacks in the game. And even with that Michigan domination on defense, they were down by 7 with just under 5 minutes to go in the game. Michigan's final possession in regulation, 4th and 2 from their own 33. Would Harbs decide to go for it? Shake the magic 8 ball. All signs point to yes. See what I did there? They convert. And then Bama was a tipped pass away from ending the game. The linebacker got a finger on it. Push it up a little more. That's going to be an interception. Game over. Instead, the Wolverines score to get it tied. And then in overtime, Blake Corum doing Blake Corum things. He rips off the 17-yard go-ahead touchdown. Wolverines up 27-20. Bama's first possession in overtime. They're moving the ball. They have a 4th and goal from the 3. And I know I said they should have let Milroe run wild in this game. They did call a running play on 4th down, but the play call was run it right into the large men wearing blue jerseys. Right in the middle. Cleared out the backfield. I didn't like the call. I think there's other way you could have used Milroe's legs in that situation. Give him an option there, straight up the middle. You get nothing, you lose. Good day, sir. Signed, sealed, delivered, I'm yours, as in a trip to Houston for the national championship. Number 2, Washington versus number 1, Michigan. And hopefully that game is as good as the playoff games were, because as we said earlier, the bowl season overall, not great. Opt-outs, transfer portal, NIL madness have made the bowl games an afterthought. But the playoff games were amazing. That's what matters most. Both ending on the last play of the game. What more could you ask for? 12-team playoff? Yeah. Either way, Michigan opens the national championship as 4.5-point favorites. I just don't know how you can bet against Michael Penix Jr. I can't. I won't. And if you think I'm going to bail on UW after they completely devastate the Horns, WH, hell to the no. These dogs may be underdogs, but give me the Huskies to win it all. Of course, we will be back to recap all that natty goodness. And don't forget, we get the 12-team playoff next year. Giggity. Ooh, that's going to be sweet. And now the wheels start rolling. OU and Texas to the SEC, as well as all the other teams moving to new conferences, and we will preview all of it coming up shortly. And then it's just a minor 3-month and 19-day wait until the OU spring game on April 22nd, and I am already geeked for that one. Sooner State of Mind fam, I know you guys are too. It's going to be hard to wait, but we've got no choice. Sooner State of Mind will have you dialed in for all of the good stuff leading into that game, in that game, and after the game. So make sure you like and subscribe on Apple Podcast or Spotify so you do not miss any of it. Also, head on over to believe.com. That's BLEAV.com. Go to shows, type in Sooner State of Mind. Boom, you're locked. We have a ton of great content. Every team, every topic, everywhere. Believe.com. If you want to watch Sooner State of Mind, head on over to YouTube and search the Football Dudes. We are there. Sooner State of Mind is brought to you by Bet Online. My name is Casey Mallon, and I am in a Sooner state of mind.